I am Batman. Average Sniper.
Hey, what's up everybody? Average Sniper here, bringing you another PUBG video. Today I want to talk about some of the reasons I have really been enjoying the new PUBG map Kraken, which is very surprising because if you've been a fan of my channel for a long time, you know that I actually despise small PUBG maps and I prefer the larger maps with the longer engagements and the longer match time. But recently, I made a video talking about how PUBG needed to do something about the mid-game, because the mid-game on most maps can be incredibly boring, because people tend to drop in very hot positions, get themselves killed, which makes for a very low player count at the beginning of the match. You might only have 30 players left at the end of Phase 1 and about 20 more minutes of match time. And in that 20 minutes, you might not even find anybody until the end game. And that might be fun for a while, but after playing for almost 3 years, that kind of gameplay has gotten really boring. I suggested a couple things like maybe a loot balance change so people weren't forced to drop hot just to get good loot and people could choose where they wanted to drop to make more exciting gameplay, not just in the beginning, but all throughout the match. But, you know, nothing ever happened and it always stayed the same. But then this new map came out and all I thought when I saw it was, oh my god, a 2x2 kilometer map, smaller than Sandhawk. My god, what have they done? But after playing on the map for several weeks, I have to say, guys, I really like this map. I think they did a very good job balancing it. Now, I do have complaints about it. Stupid things that shouldn't happen. PUBG bugs, glitches, things like that on the map. We're not going to talk about that today. We're just going to talk about the map in general and some of the reasons why I think it might be a very good thing for PUBG. So starting off with my own opinion, at first I wasn't too big of a fan. I thought this is an incredibly small map, not much to do. And the loot was awful. But they did do an update where they changed the loot so you could get better loot without dropping into a hotspot or going into a cave, which really made me happy because this really spreads out the players and doesn't make so that every single person dies in the very beginning of the match. They also changed it so that it's 64 players instead of 100 players since it is such a small map. That only makes sense. And I was very skeptical at first, but after playing this map nonstop for the past several weeks, I have to say, really enjoying it. I think it is very well balanced, and I think a lot of people are actually coming back to PUBG to play this map. If you have people like me that have been playing PUBG since it came out in March of 2017, it's hard to play a game for that long where there's hardly been any changes. You know, they've added some new maps, but it almost always feels the same. And this has really changed the pace of the game, but somehow they maintained the feel of PUBG in general, which I didn't think was possible to do on a small map. I thought this would just be basically a crazy free-for-all. Like it would feel like playing Call of Duty. There's going to be people everywhere, and the matches will go by super fast. You'll die super easy, but I was pretty wrong about that. And that's actually a good thing because, like I said in the beginning of the video, there's a lot of people getting tired of these boring mid-game matches. And when you have a map this small where chicken dinners can happen between 15 and 20 minutes, it's not that big of a deal if you die and have to go back in. You know, you will just go right back in. You'll get some action. You'll either get the chicken dinner or you won't. None of this waiting 20 minutes to see someone and then dying in the final circle because that's how long you had to wait just to find out if somebody else was there and you didn't see the guy hiding behind the tree or in the bush or peeking the window. You didn't. It just takes too long sometimes. And I am a huge fan of that gameplay, but I'm very glad PUBG switched it up. That's the biggest thing. Now, the rest of there's some little things I really enjoy about this map, and I'm going to list them and talk about them briefly right now. Number one thing, I love that there's no grenades. The grenade spam in PUBG is insane. It is out of control. The grenades are so OP, especially if you go into the final circle with 5 or 6 grenades. You can pretty much just chuck them around you in a circle and get the chicken dinner kill. Not very satisfying. I mean, it's always satisfying to get a chicken dinner, but I prefer to actually shoot the last guy instead of just throw random grenades, you know, hoping that one of them hits them. Also, it is really hard to have gunfights with enemies from cover versus cover when there's so much grenade spam. I mean, literally the first thing people do when you're behind a tree and the next guy is behind a tree is start throwing grenades and just see whose explodes first. And I honestly got really tired of the grenade spam in PUBG, and this map doesn't have grenades. It has sticky bombs, which don't travel as far as grenades, and I don't think they can be cooked. At least I haven't cooked them, and I haven't seen anyone else do it. They can be lethal, but they're not as lethal as grenades or as annoying. I know some people love the grenade spam, but I myself am not a fan. The second thing, I think it has a balanced safe zone circle, which pushes everybody to a central location in a good amount of time, and it's easy to run there. You basically are never going to die by the blue unless you're pinned down by enemies and you literally cannot make it out of the circle. There's almost no place on the map where you can't safely run into the zone. There's no vehicles. I also like the fact that there are no vehicles. I've never seen a PUBG map without vehicles before, and this adds an extra dynamic to the gameplay. People have to travel on foot from place to place. I like how open the map is, where there's just enough cover, but not that much. It's not like Sandhawk, where people can hide behind a tree every 2 steps and heal as you try to shoot them. You get a couple shots, they hide behind a tree and heal. You get a couple shots, they hide behind a rock and heal. You get a couple shots, they hide behind a tree and heal. And it just keeps going. It's so annoying. But this map forces people to run across open spaces. So if you've made poor decisions in moving to that safe zone, you're really going to regret them when you have to run out into the open. And I love that. It makes the decision-making process so much more important. It's great for solos and duos. It's okay for squads, but this seems more like a solo and duo type of map because it's so small. And that's just one of the things I like about it. You can really dominate in solos and duos modes. It's really just a simple thing. The cave system is epic, or not the cave system, but the underground tunnel system is pretty epic. I love how you're guaranteed good loot when you go down there, and I love how there's a lot of different tunnels around the map, so everybody doesn't go to the same one. Although I will say the ones in the middle are the most popular because they're much larger than just one room in the tunnel. And lastly, I love the fact that if you do make it to the end but don't get that chicken dinner, it's not like you've spent 30 minutes trying to do that. It's only been about 15 to 20 minutes at the most. So it's not that big of a deal to walk away with a 3rd or 4th place, because 15 minutes later you might have another chicken dinner. And if you get tired of the fast-paced gameplay, you can just go play a larger map like Erangel or Miramar. Or Sanhok. I mean, Sanhok's 4x4, and this is 2x2. So Sandhawk feels like such a huge map compared to this. And those are the things I like about it, guys. I've been playing it in both perspectives, 3rd person and 1st person. I usually start off in 3rd person, and when I get tired of people 3rd person camping or peeking me, I switch to 1st person and play that way. I'm not one of those snobs who basically says that anybody that plays 3rd person sucks. No, I pretty much play them both equally nowadays, unless I'm on console, because on console, 1st person lobbies are pretty much non-existent. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you give me your opinion in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing. And don't forget to check me out on Twitch. I have been streaming almost every day on twitch.tv/I'mAverageSniper. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Get out there and get those chicken dinners. Later, everyone.